Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, and today I am joined by Richie Cavalera of Incite, who's putting out a new album, Savage New Times, coming out August 15th off of Raining Phoenix Music. Now, Richie, for those watching at home, they don't know that this is the second time we're recording this. We tried once and we had some issues with the audio and the connection. So thank you for being willing to do that. I really appreciate it.
Of course, good to see you again, Maddie,
Eh.
and obviously all the Beaver Mosh metalheads out there. Um, I'm stoked. Yeah, I want it to be right and done right, and obviously chatting with you was awesome last time. So why the hell not do it again?
Yeah, awesome. Well, first of all, you said you're on tour. Where are you right now? You're in a parking lot of some sort.
Yeah, we're in a Walmart parking lot just outside of Baltimore, actually. Yeah, we have a headline show tonight in Frederick, Maryland. A really cool spot. It's our first headline show in almost 2 years. So we are extremely excited for this. And like Friday night, we're in the middle of like summer slaughter shows, and we have this album that we're literally going to play almost the whole thing of tonight.
Damn.
So we're extremely excited. Everybody that's coming tonight is going to have a special gig for sure.
Well, let's talk about the album then. So, Richie, it's album number 7 for
Yeah.
Insight, and I'm curious, a band that's been doing it for a minute usually always goes through some sort of evolution, and I'm wondering how would you say you are a different band than when you were in 2009 with the Slaughter?
Oh my gosh. I mean, incredible change has happened. We ran from 2009 to about 2013, with those guys, and I think they just really expected things to happen faster or be a little easier, maybe, coming from being with me in a band, So
Yeah.
unfortunately, just didn't work out. But we made some killer records. The Slaughter and All Out War are killer records for, a young band just really got together jamming, and that's what became of it. So now, 2013 and beyond, you bring Lennon and Elle into the fold, and 13 years later, the three of us are still together, making just better and better and better and better records each time. We're growing. We're finding exactly like who we are as a band and the sound that we want to have and the vibe. And I think that's Savage New Times. It's like everything we've learned along the way, all of the understanding of music and camaraderie and all that stuff. And I think people are hearing it through this album of like where we've grown from. It's
Hell,
incredible.
hell yeah. So you would say like, one way you've evolved is just chemistry with each other.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
in those early days, it was a lot of dudes coming in and out. Me trying to figure out what the hell I'm even doing with
Yeah.
this, and I think the more stable you become as a unit, obviously, the better. I think it shows in your music.
Now, the first single y'all put out for this record, and you put it out with a video is Just a Rat. And I'm wondering why did you lead with that track? It's a good track.
That was actually like my fiance's favorite, the
Okay.
record label's favorite, and it had something different. It was really this explosive, kind of fresh vibe in terms of insight, and I think in terms of like the heavy metal world, it feels really different. It's hard to like put your finger on exactly like what kind of like uh, feelings it harnesses in terms of the music and the lyrics. I think that cool mesh up just was really exciting. And once they said it was their favorite song, it really started to grow on me. And then it was like, let's do this as the first one and really get this excitement going, and really kind of show people how we've transitioned from Wake Up Dead to Savage New Times. And the video turned out killer with Jim Laveau doing it, and I think the whole concept around uh, just a rat is something everybody can kind of relate to in a little way. We all deal with those shitty people, whether it's in like our everyday life or on the TV or in society in any way. They're out there, and they're trying to steal your cheese, and they're trying to fuck with you. And
Yeah.
I think always though in the end, those people always lose, and they get what's like karma, and the universe always make sure they get fucked.
Yeah, when I Yeah, when I hear the lyrics for Just a Rat, my mind goes to, I don't know if this is your intention, but it goes to politics. It goes to who's in office right now. Like fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's so great, I think, about the record's lyrical content is it
Yeah.
really gave the interpretation for anybody. Like this to me was literally devoted at a single human being that like just fucking fuck shit up. In terms of my life and tried to really
Yeah.
destroy me. I mean, literally line for line. And that's what was cool is my fiance said the same thing. She's like, this is really about like the times right now, Rich. And I was like, I didn't even really think of that because then, yeah, you have Lies and all these other songs that kind of coalesce. And I'm like, did we kind of become like a political band in a sense, but not meant to be? It's more just like a relative vibe that's created from it,
Yeah,
you know?
you're not trying to be Rage Against the Machine. It just there's some tones just came out.
I want to stand up for stuff because yeah, I come from a family that's fighters. We stand for people that don't have the voice, for people that are marginalized.
Yeah.
My family is huge, and we have every kind of person from every single background. Introducing even to my fiance's family, it's beautiful, and I've been so lucky to grow up in all this diverseness and culture and everything. So it's like to me, I don't understand how other people think the way they do. But it's the world and people are sheltered and what the hell. But yeah, music gives us that, to
Mhm.
express in any way.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, fuck the fascists, fuck the racists, fuck all the people. Yeah.
Fucking
Uh,
A.
uh, now they're the question that probably a lot of people ask you, and I don't know if I want to ask the same way because I'm sure you're tired of answering it, but instead I'm going to ask you about that question. Do you
Yeah.
wish people would stop wondering about your connection to your stepfather? Do you want to be seen solely as your own artist?
Obviously that's what you want. And I think we as a band and as a team have done so good in not being that as the forefront of who we are.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm here to carry on that legacy and continue that, but that's not what we're here for. That's not what we were started as. And, coming back to that, like it's really focused and pressed. Like the other day, we played in Indianapolis and this big metalhead, scary looking Indianapolis dude with dreads comes up and he looks metal as fuck. Like he's jamming like Gorgoroth and like the darkest shit ever. And
Yeah.
he's just like, you know what, dude, I'm in a band and I fucking respect you so much because you know why? I don't know you because you're fucking who you are. I learned about you from your music and then seeing you live tonight. And then I saw who you were. And that shit blew my mind that you're just chilling here, humble as fuck, not talking about it. Like, and that
Yeah.
kind of dude coming up and saying that has an effect on it. Like it was like, holy shit, that's like exactly what I've expected because of the person I am and I know who I am and it's like character and all that stuff. So to hear people saying that and seeing that and feeling that is magical. And then it's like we always want people to find the band and then check that out and be like, damn, this is cool as shit. Like I didn't even know that and there was no idea of that and now this. So it's cool either way how it goes. I just work hard and write some dope tunes and enjoy the people and everything like that.
Well, I want to compliment you too because, well, first of all, the first time I heard an Incite record, I didn't know the people in the band. I just heard the record and I liked it, so I had no
I
idea
love
what
that.
connection. But also like, yeah, I mean, this is my second time talking to you, and you don't seem to flaunt your connections at all. You're just kind of you, and I love that. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you so much. You
yeah,
too. Like awesome, genuine conversation. Those are like my favorite,
yeah.
about the music and doing these and everything like that. Really coming across awesome, awesome humans.
With that being said, I do have a fun little factoid about Max Cavalera. I don't, I don't know. I think I mentioned it last time, but I just played Grand Theft Auto 4, and Max is has a radio station that is in the game and like hosts like the metal station. It's really fun to hear his voice and just hear the music that he curated for the game.
I remember you saying that because I had only played like the very first one, so I didn't even know that existed, and I was like so blown away. So I'm like trying to like figure out how I can play this game because I don't own like any kind of gaming system or anything. But
Yeah.
I love knowing that because he does some cool like crazy stuff. Like he even did something with the Mummy and did like the Mummy voice effects on some of like the screams and stuff. Like
Oh,
yeah, it's
really?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to see how it dived in and how open you can be with music and where it can
Yeah.
take you. That's exciting.
Yeah. Well, there's a story. I read the whole press release that we're all did all the interviews to give you, and there was one little tidbit that caught my attention. I had to ask about it. Can you tell me the story about how you drove 500 miles through a blizzard to get to a show?
Oh, holy crap. So, we just left Portland and we got to get to Petaluma, California. It's like 500 and like maybe 40 miles. I mean, that's hardcore back-to-back shows, even without a blizzard. So, we were the first band to leave, luckily. So we're kind of just getting in the start of this blizzard. And you go through a pass, a really nasty one in Oregon to come down and then go into California. So, we're cruising along and it's starting to look like Star Wars out the window. The snow's coming that hard. And all of a sudden you're hearing like trees cracking because the snow's getting
Jesus.
so heavy. And this was like during those bad droughts like 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at L. It's just me and L. He's driving and I'm in the passenger seat. Everybody's sleeping in the back and I'm like rolling a joint. And, I'm like, dude, wouldn't it be fucked up if something like fell? And I shit you not, 30 seconds later, we hear a crack, and the next thing you know, it was just like, I don't know how to explain it. It just went boom, and we were just like, the whole window's like shattered. There's a tree sticking through it. You're just covered in glass and like this glass dust, and it is fucking everywhere on everything. And the van stopped, and L's tripping, and all the guys wake up, and we don't know what to do. We just start filming, and I'm like, we don't have no time to fucking waste. We have to go.
Yeah.
So, we get outside, we look at this tree, and luckily it doesn't like destroy the frame. It literally landed on the window, took out the antenna, did some other damage to the wipers and shit. But we're just like, we have to go. So we throw this fucking tree off, and you can't see out of this window. Maybe like a hole, like the size of like a penny, where you can actually see through it. So L's driving and I don't know what to do. This blizzard's getting worse. The roads are starting to close, but we're ahead of the closures. So we're like, yes, this is awesome. We just got to keep going. And I'm like, I'm crisis management operation at its finest. Like I love this. When it's time to figure out a hard ass plan in the middle of nowhere, I'm really good at this. I love it. So
Amazing.
I'm like, let's go. So we like get to this truck stop. Their power's off. We don't know what to do again. We're just like freaking out. And finally, I'm like, like there's this town up here. If we could drive to it, we can rent a car, leave the van, and we can just go. So that's kind of the idea. So we're driving now. We got to go like 30 miles, and our heads out the window, looking like Ace Ventura, in Pet Detective when he's like his window's cracked, so the only way to drive is sticking the head out the window. And there's film of it like on our Instagram and stuff. And we did that. We make it to this little town finally, and we park the van and we grab what we can out of this, and we jump in this rental car, and we continue on, and we pull up to Petaluma maybe 5 minutes before our set begins, and literally just scramble out, throw and go style, and play one of the most raging concerts we've ever done. I mean, it was batshit crazy, circle pits, and this venue's so historic for being like spray painted and ramps everywhere. So it had a vibe for what just happened. And like a week after the tour ended, I flew back up there, got the van, got to see it in the daylight. And it was just like, oh, we got really lucky that thing didn't come through or hit the roof and do something worse. But yeah, we're a band that doesn't quit, man. We don't quit. We don't fucking cancel shows. We never have, and that wasn't going to stop us either. There's no damn way.
So when you got to the venue, were the promoters like shocked that you actually made it?
They were tripping because only us and the headliner ended up actually making it, and the band Unearth, they got stranded because they were behind the road closures, and they sent a picture, and they were like in snow that was like 30 fucking feet tall. It was insane. It was an incredible experience, Maddie, that like kind of like brought us to a point where we could like, I think, handle anything that tour could throw at us.
Well, that's impressive. Hopefully you never have to do that again.
I really truly pray, because yeah, that was scary. I think when you're in the moment, you don't think about the dangers of it, but a little older now, I probably wouldn't have done the same thing. I would have been like, you know what, we're just gonna have to call this one because it is pretty dangerous doing that shit. But it was fun at the time.
Like the roads you were on, were they like rural roads, or were they like were they like busy city roads? What was the situation?
it was like 2 lane highway, and
Okay.
you obviously had no snow plows yet because it was just getting so bad. So you're dealing with not sliding out, and you got a trailer and an old piece of shit van that has probably bald tires. We were actually like caught like on this like kind of hill waiting for the snow plow to finally catch up when it was like a couple 100 miles later. And this guy walks by the van. He's like, "What the hell are you guys doing up here?" And we're like, "We don't fucking know. We're just a band, dude. They just want us to get to this place." So, and I love experiences like that. Like each guy in the band too didn't like whine or complain or do anything. They just did what had to be done to make it. And I like that's why I call us like a band of the people. We do
Yeah.
whatever we can for this.
How I don't know if you mentioned this, but like, when you got to the venue, like how close were you to your actual start time? Like were you like did you just make it?
Yeah, we pulled up 5 minutes after our start time, which was absolutely incredible. I mean, we didn't get to do the sound check, we didn't get to do all that stuff, but throw and goes are fun too, and that's exactly what this turned into. It's like festival style where you just set up, play, and get the hell out of there, and then you're like, what just happened? you know, Finally breathe it in.
You know what annoys me when I go to a festival? Like sometimes like I went to a festival recently and there was like some issues with like the electricity so they had to move some bands around the stages and
Yeah.
like a couple of the bands did what you did and just like went for it, but a couple bands that got moved around, they spent like half an hour sound checking. I'm like just go. Just like it's gonna sound fine. Just like the audience will be into it no matter what. Just go for it.
See, that's like why we have this new shirt and it says no backing tracks, no gimmicks, just heavy metal.
Yeah.
And that right there is why we can throw and go a show anywhere in the world and
Yeah.
be as badass as we are with time because we play our stuff, we do our stuff. We don't have a bunch of digital things doing that. And, I've seen that too, and that sucks for heavy metal, in my personal opinion. That stuff is meant for like Ramstein and Ghost and
Yeah.
these really elaborate bands. It's not a metalcore band or a deathcore band or like none of that shit should ever have a backing track or all this digital shit going on to where they can't just fucking rock out normal.
Yeah.
You know, like like that's what metal is. Plug into the cab and fucking rip. You know,
Fucking rip.
it's like
Yeah.
these people are like got their iPads and their fucking computer programs. And it's like, man, you're not playing. You're not playing. So we thrive on that shit.
Yeah.
That's something we love, being like raw and organic and
Mm.
fresh feeling.
Now, what was the concept behind the artwork here for Strange New Times? Because it's quite good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that was all done by Marcelo Vasco. He's a legend, done Slayer and Deicide and so many incredible bands. And
Oh,
we were just like, look, here's the music, here's the lyrics. You do what you do because that's why we got you. If we were artists, we would do it. We're band dudes that have like an idea of a title, and then we want you to figure it out. And that is what he gave us, and absolutely floored us. Redesigning the logo and the cover. It's just to
yeah.
me, it feels like a massive metal album cover. It's just something about it. When I saw it, it had something so incredibly special to it. And to see it on like the vinyl and all this stuff is making me truly believe that even more.
Well, I want to say thank you for. I'm surprised I have to say this to bands now, but thank you for reaching out and hiring and working with real artists. Because the more and more I hear about bands using AI, I'm like, this is sad.
Yeah, and it's fallen into like lyrics and videos and everything. But
Yeah.
for us, we take our art very seriously. If you look at
Yeah.
every cover we've had from Dan Seagrave, who's a legend, Andre
Oh
Buzakov, to
yeah.
we always take that serious. With Elle in the band and me and Lennon growing up in this early aspect of searching through vinyls based on covers, that's what we wanted people to be able to feel with our albums.
Yeah, when you mentioned Dan Seagrave, and I know there's other people like him, there are these people that are like that are so into heavy metal and understand it and want to make good art for it. Let them do it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
their interpretation of them. That's what I love about having somebody personally do it like that, real style. He did
Hmm.
phenomenal, phenomenal.
Yeah. Now I want to know, how do you describe your sound? Because some people label you groove metal, some people squarely under the thrash moniker. I've heard you like refer to yourself as metalcore, which is interesting to me. I mean, what do you tell
Oh
people?
no, no, no. We're a straight heavy metal band.
Yeah,
That we start every show for the last 6 years, and my opening line is "We are Incite, and we play heavy fucking metal."
yeah,
We take our roots from like that Pantera, that early Metallica that you really just called heavy metal. I think when we organize that feel, we're able to do what we do, and that's grab from all these different fields of heavy metal and create songs like Dolores or Just a Rat and have it all flow together. I think most bands try that kind of shit and it just doesn't work well. We're a band that you're like, I could name 10 bands that they could fit into the pocket of, but they don't meet all the criteria of it. And that's like my favorite thing about us is we just play what comes to us. We don't look for something specific. We just know it's heavy music, heavy metal. That's what we grew up on, and the feeling of that, I think, catapults us to being that like Lamb of God feel band. Really
sure,
just
sure.
just straight heavy metal.
You say your roots are in Pantera, and obviously, those early Pantera records are they're iconic for a reason. But I'm gonna ask you your
So
opinion on this, and what the fuck happened to Phil Anselmo? Why did he turn into such an asshole?
I think he's just kind of always been that way. I think sometimes, like when you don't understand who a person is or what they're about, because
Yeah,
back then you didn't have the reach of video and social media.
yeah,
You grew up with that music and it's timeless to you.
yeah,
I don't have to give a fuck about him now or buy anything related to them or go see them.
yeah,
But what those early records did to me musically and influential, I can't. No one can take that out of your DNA or your
yeah.
blood system. It's in there. And when I create a song or Lennon does, it your subconscious that you don't even control just emulates pieces of that. So for us again, it's not just like them. It's Lamb of Gods, it's Metallica's, it's Slayers, it's Sepultura's, it's Testament, it's Exodus, it's all of those bands that kind of originated what we are doing, but we're taking it to a different limit with I think like melodicness and Dolores, use and abuse, adding like the black metal feel to it with it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think he's whatever at this point in my eyes. I don't have him as a role model state or anything like that. Never would, but influential in the early days, definitely.
You just mentioned Slayer, and I gotta ask you, what's your favorite Slayer record?
Me, I would say South of Heaven.
Okay, yeah.
I like the more obscure when they got a little more melodic and dark, kind of on some of those riffs they were doing on that record. Really stood out to me personally.
I have a Show No Mercy poster in my kitchen. I do like the rawness of Show No Mercy, but
Yes.
I uh I think I'm a Seasons in the Abyss girl. The way it
Okay.
starts off as War Ensemble, just phenomenal.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, Rain and Blood is the one that like I think a lot of people know. I think it's one that's
Yeah.
most well known, and it is well known for a reason. But yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah.
I think South of Heaven's a great pick. If South of Heaven, I think was kind of because that's the one because they kind of got a little slower on there, which was kind of a risk for them, but it was like it
More the
worked off.
melodic darkness to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what was cool about it. Them getting obviously you knew what they could do those first records. So that
yeah.
was cool to see them try stuff. I always like when a band tries something, even if it doesn't work.
Hmm.
Because once a band like that creates something like that, you're like, obviously they're heavy and they can do that. So I want to see some musicianship created, some minds entering a new realm.
Well, yes, it is cool when bands try stuff, but also Slayer did try to be a new metal band once, and that didn't work out very well. But
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think they all gave it a try. I mean, even Gene Simmons had some pretty nasty work out there in the new metal world.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, even I would say Metallica. I think that's kind of what they were trying to do with a Saint Anger. It did not work. It
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell by their hairstyles and clothing. And that time they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Uh, the '90s did not treat thrash fans that well. At least
No,
no.
no,
Um,
no.
when I hear the new album, I notice there's this something I pick up is like the real beefiness of the guitars and just kind of the physicalness of the sound. And I know you guys worked with some veterans on this, Steve Evans and Arthur Rizik's. Arthur Rizik is just has worked with everybody.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
What were
oh
those
yeah.
two guys able to get out of your sound?
Steve, this is the fourth album we've done with him, and I think each time we learn new things, we grow. He understands who we want to be, what we want to sound like, and
Yeah.
with him, I think we're able to achieve that. And he's also somebody that like doesn't bullshit us. He pushes us hard, tells us when it sucks, but then hugs you when you kill it. And I love that. I love that, and he's become such a good friend. And I think consistency with someone like that only makes you better. We've tried the switching people, and it doesn't work. You get a different attitude or an asshole or something, and it throws the whole record off. I know what we're getting. He knows what he's getting. And then, him having the idea to bring Arthur in was incredible to us because for him to master and put like the final licks on this record was just like superior because, like you said, he's a legend. He's done everything. And Steve, too. Like, if you look at what he's done, he's so broad. And that comes into that Incite style of me talking about we like to take genres and create it into something different and new and, fun. And that's what Steve's able to do from working with like Newfound Glory to Sepultura to Hatebreed to Suicide Silence and then all these other wild bands he does. It makes that work for us. And Arthur then puts that raw vibe onto it. And I think this record gives you one of the best productions I've heard in a long time in terms of like guitar tone, vocals, etc.
What's what's amazing about Arthur Rizik, I think, is because like his bands that he plays in are more like, like very theatrical, traditional heavy metal, like play like
Yeah,
with Summerlands and Eternal Champion.
yeah,
But he works with death metal bands and like
oh yeah,
thrash metal bands and just knows how to make any type of heavy metal work and work really well. It's very impressive.
100% and super fast and just knows what the hell
Yeah.
right away. It's so cool to watch.
Mhm.
Special shit,
Mhm.
definitely. Hell
I've
yeah.
interviewed so many bands that have worked with that guy, and that they all say the same thing. Like he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
Um,
efficient. You don't have to change anything when he sends you. Like, yep, that's the one. Cool.
yep. I gotta ask, why are you at a Walmart?
Because we got a headline show, so we wanted to kind of get as close as possible before pulling in. We couldn't pull until 4, which I think is in like an hour. So we're cutting it kind of close now. But Walmart's, they're helpful for us. Bands they have everything. It's cold. It's AC. The van's kind of safe. We live at these and mostly like Flying J pilot truck stops. That's how we tour. We love them. They're 24 hour showers, all this stuff. So that's how we road dog it.
Hell yeah. I'm just surprised because I see an empty parking lot behind you. I'm used to Walmart just like being
I,
completely full.
I wanted to give you a nice view, and I went on the opposite side, so you got the trees and everything.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
Well, I mean, the last thing I want to ask you, obviously, you say you're on tour right now. You're about to play a show in Maryland
Oh yeah,
tonight, right? You're playing the show.
oh yeah. Headline show, one of the
Uh,
few.
cool.
Cool.
So there's this tour. Any festivals or like when does how much longer do you have on this tour? Tell me about the live performances you're doing right now.
Yeah, I think we have 10 shows left. It's all summer slaughter with Hatebreed, Fugitive, Gridiron, Snuffed on Sight, Esquella Grind, and Incite. It's been incredible so far. And we have a bunch of those left, a few headline shows along the way. And then we're going to take a month off while the album comes out and all the press and all the exciting stuff's going down there. And then starting September 19th to October 25th, we hit the road with 6 Feet Under, which is going to be an incredible tour. Chris Barnes doing America. It's like the second time in the last 15 years. And we're stoked for that. We're really stoked for that. He's been great to us. He's taken us to Europe a couple times, did a guest song on the album. So that'll probably wrap our Europe. And then we're going to focus on next year doing American festivals, European festivals, and just shit tons of touring as possible. I'm getting attacked by bugs, but yeah, it's awesome. Life is good.
Hell yeah. Well, um, for everyone watching at home, you heard it here. Um, Go check out the new Insight album coming out August 15th. In a few weeks from now. Coming up
Yeah.
for Reigning Phoenix Music. Richie, thank you again for joining me. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Um, I hope the tour goes well. Good luck tonight in Maryland. Um, hopefully there's no storms whatsoever on your way
Yeah,
there.
I
um,
bet.
for my patrons at home, thank you for supporting the show that way. Keep it metal. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Moth. Bye.
Maddie, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
you too.